Okay, this is my review for Daredevil. There are two different versions that you know. There's the director's cut and the regular theatrical version. In the theatrical version, people say it's a little bit jumbled up mess. Yes, because they don't. You should know about the uncut version. Basically, Daredevil's plot for it is he tries to stop Kingpin while he's also Matt Murdock is also trying to solve a rapist case, and he tries to figure out what's going on. For some reason, I like this film due to the fact that it has Daredevil, and the only thing I remember from Daredevil is the '90s Spider-Man episode. Framed, or yeah, it was Framed. I really enjoyed this film because it's Daredevil, and it's hard to look at this film serious without trying to, like, looking at the theatrical version and the director's cut version is so different. Like, you don't know which one to look at. And Daredevil isn't that hard of a character to make a movie for, so I can see why this film is kind of like different for its own precautions, because Daredevil is a different character and they're revamping new heroes in the 2000s. But this film I really enjoyed the most because of it. It's a fun movie to watch. It's one of my favorites. And Daredevil, I don't know how to explain Daredevil as a whole for the film, but something I don't get is a lot of people say the Ben Affleck sucks as Daredevil. Not true. And you're saying Tobey Maguire gets an okay for playing a bad Peter Parker, which it's hard for me to explain that Daredevil isn't the worst movie. People think of it as more on its worst list more than the unappreciated characters. Like, they don't appreciate that Frank Miller actually helped write this movie, and I didn't really enjoy half the acting. Like, I like the how John Favreau is like Favreau is like the comedic relief, and his comedy in it is pretty standardized as like a comedic relief. And I like how Matt is like how this movie symbolizes how it was before the movie started. Like, all these characters didn't have any setup hits. It's like there was no setups for any other characters in the film, but it was more just standard for Daredevil, for Matt's background because of him becoming the hero. Daredevil was that kind of movie people tend to look at as a film, but not for a franchise, because Daredevil was least known because of the character of Daredevil, and it was a bad pick to do Daredevil for a movie, but I actually got into the character more because of the the director's cut, which has a huge different outlook on the character of Daredevil. It has Bullseye as another lead villain, and Kingpin in it, and Elektra in it, and Daredevil. I might not like how they did Elektra in this film, but I know that I digress. In the film, it was a little bit more different because Bullseye uses Daredevil's weapon to kill Elektra's father, and having Elektra go after Daredevil, thinking that he killed it because of that. Well, it wasn't because, like, revenge is more of a serious motive for wanting to get rid of the killer. But I have to understand. You have to understand this movie came out after X-Men, and we didn't have any other superhero movies to look at for an outlook for another movie until Spider-Man came out the previous year. Daredevil was its own movie that was set up for its own, and I enjoyed Daredevil because of that. And the acting in it was not the best, but it was good for what it was. Jennifer Garner as Elektra, I kind of admit she did pretty good. Ben Affleck as Daredevil / Matt Murdock. I'm not gonna say I hated the film, but I kind of enjoyed it for what the actors gave it. Colin Farrell actually did a good job for Bullseye. I kind of like how he portrayed it. He was one of my favorite villains of the live action superhero villains I enjoyed. But again, Daredevil was such a cool character that I got into because of this movie, and I got to read online comics on these characters. That's how it was like during the year of 2000s. I didn't know more about superhero. I wanted to know more, so I read some online comics to get into the characters, to understand them, to get a basic education for the characters. Daredevil was more different, but I enjoy it. I enjoy how Daredevil's movie was cut down for its own taste. Again, Daredevil was one of my favorite movies. I don't know why. It's just because of the character. The movie was pretty good for its own standard point. But if you look more as the uncut version, which is more different than the actual theatrical version, depending on which version you see, you're still gonna. It's gonna be depending on your feelings towards it. My feelings towards the whole thing from the uncut version isn't a perfect superhero outlook for a movie, but I prefer the uncut version more than the first one. But than the actual theatrical one. I digress. It's progress is behind the characters and the actors. That's everything. Which is good. So I enjoyed Daredevil, and my rating would be from 1 to 5. It would be at least a 3. It wasn't that great, but it was good to me. If you understand what I mean, I like it. You might not like it yourself, but I enjoy Daredevil. So that's my review on Daredevil. And check out my next review. Next 3 reviews I'll be doing is Hulk and Punisher. So yeah, go check out my other reviews. I did the whole X-Men series and the whole Spider-Man series. Hope you guys. I'm just trying to push out a lot of reviews. Hope you guys enjoy this review.